Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast. Many thanks for choosing KUTV once again to get you informed. Let's begin with the highlights and then I'll be back with the day's stories.
Relief for Senator Gloria Orwaba after the High Court halts her expulsion from the UDA party. Drama unfolds in the Senate as Treasury CS John Mbadi and his counterpart Rebecca Miano boycott sessions. Religious leaders urge to steer clear of partisan politics in the country. Unknown individuals demolish Gatundu Market as residents call on the government to intervene in the ongoing dispute.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
Naomi Ombui is on the sign language interpretation. My name is Yvonne Kemuma. Continue engaging with us on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Kemuma_Monari. We are live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. Now, the High Court Judge Lawrence Mugambi has stayed UDA's expulsion of nominated Senator Gloria Orwaba issued last Wednesday in a Gazette notice alleging gross misconduct. But even with the development, the Senate Speaker today declared her seat vacant from the 21st of May 2025.
All the things that have been put in there. However, Mr. Speaker, I recognize the fact that I am in this Senate and in this Parliament because I have been nominated to represent women. And this report does not reflect on the same, Mr. Speaker.
She has been labeled as women's rights defender, championing for the women's rights in the Senate, and a vocal critic of the same government she serves. She rattled and her party clapped back, serving her a taste of her own medicine. Hers was a bitter one though.
No, I do not, and I will never.
For now, she breathed a sigh of relief after High Court Judge Lawrence Mugambi issued a conservatory orders blocking her ouster from UDA party until June 3rd, when her case will be heard and determined. For now, Gloria Orwaba is living on borrowed time, but who knows about the future?
That these two options are the options that should be considered.
The embattled nominated senator today lost her position in the Senate after Speaker Amason Jeffa Kingi officially declared her seat vacant.
Bipartisan, Mr. Speaker, I am here representing women.
In a Gazette notice dated May 21st, 2025, Speaker Kingi announced the vacancy in accordance with Article 102, Clause 2 of the Constitution, following the invocation of Article 98, Clause 1 bar, which pertains to members elected to represent special interest.
Mr. Speaker, protect me and my time.
The former nominated senator has been facing mounting pressure following disciplinary proceedings by her sponsoring party UDA, which led to her expulsion over alleged misconduct.
That I do not support this report.
Orwaba is accused of gross misconduct and violating party's constitution and code of conduct. The UDA party accused her of making public statements that harmed the party's image and repeatedly failing to respond to the disciplinary charges.
To implement the two-third gender rule.
Her expulsion from the ruling party was fueled by her participation in the homecoming events for the former Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i in Kisii and Nyamira counties on 2nd of May 2025. UDA viewed her involvement in the events, along with her public criticism of the government policies, as an act of disloyalty and a breach of party's ideals.
That these two options are the options that should be considered.
Ahuma Evans for KUTV, Nairobi.
Many thanks, Auma Evans, for that report. Now, the failure of Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi and Tourism Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano to appear before the Senate for questioning despite being officially summoned sparked reactions among senators. This came despite Speaker's notice that both communicated their absence in advance.
This is blatant show of contempt and utter disrespect to the House. These were the fierce comments from the senators following the absenteeism of Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi and his counterpart Rebecca Miano of Tourism in Senate for questioning today.
The Speaker had received communication from the Office of the Clerk that the CS Treasury was appearing this morning to respond to questions, including a question that I had raised. As you guys see now, we have a different, we have a supplementary order paper, which means the CS is not coming. Speaker, I just want your direction on this matter.
This is despite the notice given by the Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, clarifying the two had given prior notice with valid reasons why they will not appear for questioning.
The two CSs, that is CS in charge of Treasury and the CS in charge of Tourism, had valid reasons because they did communicate to me through the clerk, and the reasons they had given was deemed to be valid, and that's why the questions are not contained in today's order paper.
Led by Kutv County Senator Enoch Wambua, who had concerns on the state of Kenya's finance, the legislators criticized the manner in which the information was delivered to them in an untimely manner.
Speaker, there is just a clarification I sought from you because I wanted to seek from you. Because, you know, the House had already made a decision that there was some misbehavior on the part of the CS Treasury. So when you say the motion by the Senator for Kutv may or may not be approved, I become a bit concerned, Honorable Speaker. It should be fast-tracked so that we are able to finish that matter.
Mbadi has faced sustained criticism in 2024 and 2025 for repeatedly skipping scheduled Senate appearances. For instance, in March 2025, he missed a Finance Committee session on the budget policy statement, and in May 2025, he gave last-minute notice of absence from the Senate session, and on October 2024, he failed to attend a session on unpaid dues for former KCC workers. Senators have expressed their frustrations about these patterns and regard them as lack of respect towards the House proceedings.
The United States Agency for International Development.
Elimelech Mudori, Nairobi.
Now, Cabinet Secretary for Gender Culture, the Arts and Heritage Hannah Wanjohi Wendot has affirmed that over 100,000 women have benefited from the Women's Enterprise Fund since its inception in 2007. She made these remarks while appearing before the Senate today to respond to questions on women empowerment. Here are the details.
Cabinet Secretary for Gender Culture, the Arts and Heritage, Anna Wendo, has given a comprehensive overview of the Women Enterprise Fund performance since its inception in 2007. He has reported that over 27 billion has been dispersed to more than 100,000 women groups across the country.
The step on matters gender ahead. My question is question number 50, and the question is as follows. A, how has the Women Enterprise Fund performed in providing affordable and accessible loans since digitization of the exercise initiated as was initiated in 2023?
The initial phase was pilot, which ran till 16 September 2023. Then it was halted due to unprecedented loan default rate. Through this model, the fund had disbursed Kenya shillings 941,901,105 Kenya shillings to 18,955 women.
While highlighting the fund digitalization effort, CS Wendota acknowledged challenges that comes with the shift to digital platforms, including reduction, displacement, and access barrier for women lacking digital literacy or connecting with led to reintroduction of manual leading processes.
On the first question of why digitalization did not go well, it's because of the system, the way it was put. The amount that was being borrowed through the manual lending was a lot. It was 750,000. But when it went digital, it was 50,000, and most members or women did not embrace that. And also the follow-up, because of this, you borrow and there was no way of tracking the repayment of that money.
Emphasizing the importance of financial inclusion, the CS reiterated that WEF loans do not require collaterals and revealed plan to roll out individual loan products in the next financial year.
We require the funds, and that is the challenge that is there, considering that the amount of money that had been given earlier, most of it has not been repaid back, and it was supposed to be a revolving fund. However, if subject to availability of funds, we shall be able to lend to as many groups as possible.
On the rising case of the gender-based violence and femicide, the CS emphasized that economic empowerment is a key strategy in addressing these social challenges.
The recent surge in gender-based violence and femicide in Kenya has escalated into a national crisis, prompting urgent calls for comprehensive action. Between August and October 2024 alone, at least 97 women were killed in gender-related murders.
Women Enterprise Fund has been facing criticisms over the years. Last year, the Auditor General revealed 1.4 billion mess at Women Enterprise Fund, an allegation that was discredited by WEF CEO Rachel Musoki and the chairperson of the Fund Advisory Board, Jane Langat, as entirely baseless and misleading. The CS has reaffirmed the ministry commitment to supporting women empowerment through accessible, inclusive, financially and board support system. Rail Makona, KUTV.
Now, in a powerful call for peace and unity in East Africa, the leadership of the Renewal Charismatic Church has urged religious leaders across the region to refrain from politicizing national issues. Speaking in Matayos, Busia County, Bishop Felix Baraza stressed the need for neutrality when offering counsel to both the government and opposition leaders. The church also called on the government of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania to end political persecution and abductions, warning that such actions risk undermining regional stability.
The Renewal Charismatic Church leadership, under the guidance of Bishop Felix Baraza, has issued a strong appeal to religious leaders in East Africa to refrain from politicizing issues that affect the region. The bishop stressed that religious leaders must remain neutral and avoid favoritism when counseling political figures, whether from the government or opposition.
Kwanza kabisa, sisi viongozi wa kidini ndio tulipoteza imani ya wananchi. Tulikuja tukaingia kwa siasa kuliko kushika maadili yetu kama viongozi wa kanisa. When you look at some other years back there before the era of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, Mzee Moi, Mzee Kibaki and Mzee Uhuru Kenyatta, kanisa limekuwa na heshima sana. Hatukuweza kuingia kwa siasa mingi. Lakini kanisa limekosa dhamana yake kwa sababu tumeingia kwa siasa.
The church leaders highlighted the critical role that religious institutions play in fostering peace and unity, and cautioned that selective advice could deepen divisions within communities.
Yale ambayo inatendeka Kenya hii, ningemwomba tu Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto. Ni rais wetu na tunampenda. Na yeye ni mmoja ambao alisema kwamba amesoma Biblia, ameelewa, yeye ni mchungaji. Kwa hivyo akisikia watu wa kanisa wanasema hapa ni kubaya, pia asikize, akubali kurekebishwa. Viongozi ambao wanaoshikwa ndio wengine wanakosa, lakini wengine pia wapewe heshima zao. Kama wamekosa wapewe heshima zao.
Furthermore, they call on the governments of Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania to put an end to cases of abduction and political persecution targeting opposition leaders. According to the bishops, such acts undermine democratic principles and risk destabilizing the region.
When it comes to democracy, we are concerned. If someone is coming into power, is contesting to be the president or the governor or whoever, should be given a chance. But abductions are not good. But let's leave the matters to the judges. They will do the needful, they are lawyers.
Kulingana na Kristo alisimama kidete na akatetea neno la Bwana. Sisi kazi yetu ni kutetea neno la Mungu. Na tunawaombea wakuu wetu wa serikali wakae wakijua sisi tuko nyuma yao. Tunawaombea, Mungu atawaguza.
Ni kumuomba tu mwenyewe aleta amani na tunyenyekee chini ya miguu yake, kila kitu inaenda kubadilika. Unapoingia kwa shasha, Mungu anasonga nyuma kidogo. Umeingilia mambo ya ulimwengu. Tunastahili sisi tulilie ulimwengu, watu wote wajue Mungu, wasimwage damu, wakuwe na amani.
The Renewal Charismatic Church's message comes at a time when East Africa faces political tensions that threaten to disrupt the social fabric. The church leadership's call for unity and peaceful coexistence resonates strongly with citizens who yearn for stability and progress. Brenda Nyongesa, KUTV.
Now that report by Brenda Nyongesa takes us to our first break on KUTV News at 9, and then we'll be back with more stories, so see you on the other side.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Badala ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili.
Bila woga, watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi. Hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Time News with Yvonne Kemuma.
Ombui. Now let's continue. The Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Gender and Special Programs, Geoffrey Ruku, has assured that the government will provide assistance to the victims of the Mathare 4B fire. This was during his visit to the area today, 2 days after the fire incident that left Mathare's residents homeless and some losing their lives. Ruku also announced that the government will cover all medical and funeral expenses of the affected, as well as provide food and construction materials.
samples zimeletwa, zingine ziko kwa DC.
Zile zingine familia zile zimeathirika zitaandamana na DC ili waweze kuchukua bidhaa zao.
Ata hand over moja to the victim. Yes.
Ile ambayo ingine rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
Now, traders in Kamwangi, Gatundu, Kiambu County were left counting losses after their market was demolished by unidentified goons on Tuesday night. The attackers, reportedly armed with machetes and sticks, caused widespread destruction, leaving the local business community in shock and despair.
Kiambu County were left in shock after their market was demolished by unknown individuals. The incident occurred just a day after the traders staged protest against the proposed construction of a new market on the same site. Eyewitnesses claim that the perpetrators, believed to have been hired, carried out the demolition using bulldozers.
Tuliamkia wakora alikuja hapa na akabomoa soko na ametupora mali ya pesa mingi. Kwa hivyo sisi kama wakaaji wa hapa Gatondo, sisi tumeona kweli hatuna watu wa kutetea watu hapa.
Speaking to the media, the angry traders expressed their frustration, demanding that the government complete the ongoing construction of alternative markets in Gatukuyu and Gakoe to accommodate them during the transition. The government had earlier announced plans to build a 380 million modern market at Kamwangi. The proposed facility is expected to feature vending stalls, breastfeeding rooms, and an ICT hub.
Ningestumu hiyo vitendo ilifanywa hapa ya usiku ya kubomolea watu soko yao, na tayari kuna soko mingi haijajengwa. Ile kitu wanatuahindia ni kutuahindia soko mpya na soko mzuri yenye sisi hatujaona.
Watoto anasomeza na wanalelea kwa soko hii, wanakoboa nyumba hapa, wanapata muunga hapa. Sasa watapeleka watoto wapi?
The traders are now calling on both the county and national governments to take responsibility and provide immediate support. Meanwhile, investigations into the market demolitions are underway, with authorities vowing to bring all perpetrators to full force of the law. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV.
Now, public health officers in Garissa County are demanding full control of infection prevention and control IPC departments, accusing doctors and nurses of invading roles meant for them. The officers now want county governments to prioritize the staffing, funding access, and structural recognition for their preventative health mandate.
Public health officers are decrying increasing interference in their field by colleagues from the creative side of healthcare. They claim doctors and nurses have taken over leadership positions in departments like infection prevention and control IPC, which they argue are the rightful domain of preventive health experts.
No, there are colleagues, there are people in the clinical areas who have occupied IPC, and we are putting them on notice. We are telling them, please relinquish that position before we come for you. Comrades, power! Power!
During a meeting held in Garissa County, the General Secretary of the Kenya Environmental Health and Public Health Practitioner Union, Brown Ashira, demanded the immediate positioning of qualified PHOS to IPC roles.
We are asking the chief officer, please do the honorable thing. Today, before 24 hours elapses, you must be able to post and have somebody who is qualified PHO to be in charge of IPC in Garissa and to be in charge of PHC in Garissa. Failure to do that, we are going to come for you.
He also called out Garissa County for falling short in employing enough PHOS, citing a ratio of just 60 officers for 800,000 people, far below whose recommended ratio of 1 officer for every 6,500 to 7,000 people.
We are 62 officers in the county, 62. And according to WHO, every one officer needs to take care of about 7,000 people population.
Garissa PHPU branch secretary Anthony Kilonzo linked the recurring outbreaks to cross-border migration from countries with poor vaccination coverage. The union now demands urgent reforms to restore professionalism and effectiveness in public health management. Edward Sakwa, KUTV, Garissa County.
Now let's take another short commercial break and then we get back with the sports news.
Baada ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili.
Bila uoga, watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi. Hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
In a world where uncertainty rules and opportunities are scarce, it's time to break from the barrier and unlock your full potential.
We must live within our means. We cannot spend money that we don't have.
We will explore the fascinating world of investment, trade secrets, business strategies and entrepreneurship.
Sasa challenges ziko mingi sana. Parking ya mzigo imekuwa mbaya. Unaweka pesa yako inakataa kurudi.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, what you covered with invaluable insights to help you succeed.
Now, this year we have seen a rebound in the economy, which is well above the global average of the 3%.
Join me, Anyango Sylvia, every Sunday and Monday on KUTV News at 9, and let's turn your dreams into reality.
Now to a much anticipated match. Thousands of fans from England have flooded the streets of Bilbao in Spain for the match between Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa League finale. Meanwhile, Manchester City's midfielder Ken De Bruyne bid farewell to the club after 10 years. This and more in our subsequent sports wrap.
In the history of these teams, today shall be a great opportunity for either Manchester United or Tottenham Hotspurs to end the season with a smile when the two teams meet in the finals of the Europa League in Bilbao. While both teams are expecting to participate in the next season's UEFA Champions League, Manchester United boosted with the return of defenders Lenny Yoro, Diogo Dalot along with forward Joshua Zirkzee from injuries. Centre-backs Matthijs de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez sidelined as they continue to recover from injuries. However, the situation is not good for Tottenham Hotspur as they will be without Dejan Kulusevski, Lucas Bergvall and forward James Maddison due to injuries. For Manchester United, success means high-level signings during the summer transfer window. Success means the opportunity to heal. Success means a high-level future perspective. Failure is unthinkable. Failure means a season without European football next season and a decrease in revenue. To Spurs, victory means an opportunity to change the disparaging narratives that haunt them. Tottenham have not won a title since 2008. They have not won any title in European football competition since 1984. On the other hand, Manchester City's attacking midfielder Kevin De Bruyne has bid farewell to the club after serving for 10 years, winning 6 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups and 5 League Cups. Kevin participated in a total of 419 matches in all competitions, scoring a total of 108 goals. Kevin De Bruyne holds the record for the player with the most assists. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
Now we will call it a wrap on that story by Rajab. Many thanks for being with us tonight. My name is Yvonne. Kemuma on the sign language interpretation was Naomi. On behalf of the entire team behind the particular production, have a blessed night and see you next time.